Oh, we do talk some shite on these things. So welcome back again. This is episode 7 now. Again, we're going to stray away from the metal to the masses because there's an EP coming out by local band Oracle, and we would like to get that reviewed before they launch it. They're launching it in the Foundry on Saturday the 10th of March. Got the date right?
Well done.
Saturday the 10th of March in Foundry. They are playing alongside Elder Druid, Kidos and Cursed Sun. And again, it's bound to be a cracking gig. It's in a slightly different venue. We don't get too many. I don't think there's been any metal gigs.
This is the first actual gig I've seen in there. Now, I don't know if it's going to be the same setup as it used to be when it was Stiff Kitten.
I can't imagine it being different.
I don't think I've never even been in there before. So
well, Stiff Kitten's been, it was closed down.
Obviously, I heard of Stiff Kitten.
Like 4 or 5 years ago.
I've heard of Stiff Kitten. Obviously, I've never heard of. I've never been in it as Foundry. So
I saw Cancer Bats in there with Gacy's Threads supporting.
The gigs that stand out for me from the Stiff Kitten would be the Cancer Bats gig and also Devon Townsend Project. And then there's other things like Richie Houghton, techno type stuff.
I saw General Fiasco in there as well once, and it was
pretty.
They were great in there.
Funny enough, the first time I seen Zlatan Era was in the Foundry, and I wasn't impressed. I'll be honest. Different story. Yeah. Anyway, Oracle are releasing their debut EP. It's called Tales of Pythia. Tales of Pythia.
We knew this was going to happen.
Pith off. Tales of Pythia. It's a 5-track EP. The first track play is more like an intro, but we're going to take a rundown and go through it track by track, and then we'll give it an overall score, take an average, and that'll be the scores in the doors for the TWKOM review. The first track is called Deny. As I say, it's more like an intro, but it's got vocals and it feels like a song. What do you reckon to it?
It's weird for an intro. It starts really heavy. Mm-hmm. It's like it to me it comes across as being like a sample you put on Twitter or something, like a cutout from a song, and then you put it on Twitter, be like, here, we're releasing this next week if you want to listen to it.
Clip, just a teaser. It could be a full, it could be part of a full song, and it's.
I agree with that. When I listen to it,
that way.
I kind of like, I want more of this.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's bad. I just think it's weird for an intro.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think they could use it. I think if they go on to write more material, they could lift that and expand upon it and make it a bigger song.
You would really like.
Like the. It's good to me. It's doomy. It's sludgy. It's dark. It's got some loads of like rolling double kicks. I don't know why I'm doing that for double kicks. I think it's good. I really like it. I just think, as we've said, as an intro, it's odd because it feels more like a song, but it's clearly an intro.
Yeah.
It's not called intro. It's called Deny.
Yeah, it could even be part of the next song. It could just be the intro to it. Yeah. But they did what they did, and hopefully, like I said, they could hopefully bring that into an actual song.
I would like to say that, even as a B-side or something. I don't know. The second track is, I guess, the closest you would have as a single. It's called No God Waits For You. There is a full video for it. We'll put a link to the video below. What do you reckon?
Yeah, this is, they came out with this and it was a complete statement of intent. It's like, here you go, this is what we do. It's big, it's brutal. There's that big kind of fat groove thing they've gone on. Obviously, I think the main reference point a lot of people maybe go with is Lamb of God.
Yeah,
definitely.
Well, there was a lot of Lamb of God and Slayer vibes throughout the whole thing, though.
Definitely.
So there's like the solo I really liked. At one point, there's like sort of an Egyptian vibe. It reminded me of like a snake charmer.
I got that Egyptian vibe from that solo. Yeah,
and,
definitely.
It's just such a big crushing song. It doesn't let up. It's like imagine somebody standing on your head and holding you down the whole time.
One of the things I loved about the solo in this song and for another solo in one of the other songs is I always find solos sometimes are a bit too showboaty for my liking. It's like, okay, here's the bit in the song where I get to show off that I can do this. On that solo, Jason layers vocals over the top of it. Right?
Yeah.
So it feels like the solo is a part of the song rather than just being a bit where you go, oh, here's the solo. It's more, yeah, it's just as I say, it's more part of the song. It feels like it belongs in there. It's not a solo for the sake of a solo. And I think that works really, really well. I think that's so smart. Like, see when you get a bit of a song and there's a 30 seconds of solo that doesn't fit there or doesn't need to be there. I've never understood that.
I actually, a couple of years, actually no, a lot of years ago, there was actually somebody I saw doing a Metallica cover, and they added in, I think about a 45 or 1 minute solo.
Right.
There wasn't even in the song to begin with, because they just wanted to do a solo.
Yeah.
That's even weirder, like putting it into a cover song.
Yeah.
So,
I think the vocals on this song are absolutely brilliant. Jason has a great range. He can go really, really low and then he can bring it up high.
There's times he sounds almost black metal-y at times.
Yes.
But then there's other times he's just he's down there and it's like I said, it's like paint stripper kind of course.
It's got that whole No God Waits For You, the actual hook in it. Oh, I absolutely love that. I think that is brilliant. There's chuggy bits. There's loads of bits. One of the notes I've got here is that this is not music to go out and stand there going, this is interesting.
Oh yeah.
This is music to headbang to.
Oh yeah.
It really is.
Get down the front and just spill blood like
music.
Each time I've seen Oracle, there's always been people at the front though.
Yeah.
There's always been people right down at the front.
It's that kind of stuff where it just hooks you in and it forces you to actually move.
Yeah.
I think the last time we seen them, that bit with the No God, it comes in and it starts and then it kind of stops and you get that lyric of No God Waits For You and then it kicks in, and I think at that point you were down taking photos and I ended up like crawling over the top of it just to get the big No God Waits.
Glad to be of service.
Yes. So if you do that in the future, that would be
not a problem. I'll be your table. I am the table.
I am the table. Jesus Christ. Lulu references, I apologise for that.
We're not the ones that should be apologising for that.
Next track on the album is EP is High Priestess, another one that if you've been seeing the guys live, that High Priestess will be in your head. The intro, I'm not sure you guys picked this up, or maybe it's just me hearing something that's not there. I thought that slow riff at the start of it was almost Metallica-esque.
I didn't get that, but it's definitely there's a big sort of foreboding, menacing kind of thing about that intro. Metallica are pretty great sort of puppets era. Maybe thing that should not be kind of vibe about it, possibly.
Yes, that evilness of it.
Yeah.
And then after that intro, it just sets off, and to me, it's one of those tracks that's just relentless and doesn't let up. There's no real hook the whole way through the song. It's kind of like a build and a tease, and then right towards the end, you get the title, The High Priestess. The High Priestess awaits comes in, and that's screamed about 4 times. And then I think it's like she awaits or something. And to me, that payoff at the end of that song works brilliantly.
Oh yeah,
so
definitely.
well done. Yeah, brilliant track.
That's what I love about this as well. There's a sort of Seasons in the Abyss, South of Heaven kind of Slayer vibe about it. That sort of slower Slayer sort of thing going on.
As I say, it is relentless, but there are shifts in pace in it as well, because it's when it's going fast, but then when it slows down, it's that sort of it's more of a stompy slow down. So to me, it's still attacking you.
Yeah, and what I love as well is the whole sort of lyrical kind of thing about Pythia, being the Oracle at Delphi. If it seems there's definitely a kind of an ancient sort of vibe about the whole EP.
Mm-hmm.
I think the way they've gone in with the lyrical content and stuff. It's that kind of, it's very old school. They're not getting political and stuff. They're going back their storytelling, which is a very Iron Maiden kind of thing about it for me. So definitely like that.
Yep. And then next up, 4th track, Burn the Nameless. I think we keep making Lamb of God comparisons.
Yeah, it's Lamb of God and Slayer was like the main. Which it took me, to be fair, it wasn't until I think it was you said it was Slayer. It wasn't until I.
Well, that's it. Yeah,
it wasn't until you said what it was. It was I couldn't figure out what it was. And they said it was Slayer. I was like, they're There we go.
I think this track, Burned and Nameless, is the most Lamb of Godiest tracks.
Yeah.
If that's an okay way to put it. I say that, I mean, we keep making these references to Lamb of God of Slayer.
It's not like they're ripping them off and you can go, oh, that sounds like that song or that sounds like that song. It's the vibe.
The vibe.
It's just
and the
general.
It just reminds you of it without not being like, it sounds like you copied Slayer.
Yeah, exactly.
They are definitely not a copycat band. They sound like Oracle.
Yeah.
They sound like what they're setting out to sound like. But at the same time, strong influences are there.
Yeah. Well, that's any band that sort of starts out, you definitely hear those original influences. You can't help it.
Yeah. But like every band's influenced by somebody.
Well, that's it.
So they're going to you're going to get reminded by some band by every band.
Well, that's it.
It's just how much are you reminded by it.
And the good bands then sort of, as they go on, sort of end up making their, putting their own imprint on it. And like I said, this sounds like Oracle. So there's a, you just know that the next release is going to sound even more like them.
That's when they're going to start putting their own stamp. Well, I mean, as I say, I think they've already got their own stamp.
Yeah, but that's when you're actually going to see next
time they'll get a bigger stamp.
Yeah. So now it's just kind of you're hearing the potential of what they can be.
Yeah.
I reckon come the next one you're going to be like, oh, right now we've got something to worry about here.
Yeah, I think that Burn That Nameless again has another big, brilliantly singable hook.
Yeah,
it's another one. Whenever you're seeing them live, you're gonna be waiting for that song because it's a great one to sing along to. Something we spotted around is there's like a real sort of metallic twangy sound in it.
That was brilliant.
I'm almost certain it's Chief on bass. I think
it's weird, but it's really, really cool.
When the guitarist sort of hits the strings on the headstock,
yes,
it has that kind of almost sound to it, but it seems like it's maybe just one string or something. It's really hard to place, but as soon as you hear it, you're like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
And it's not distracting in a bad way. It's like it really complements the song, and I'd love to know what that is.
Yeah, so would I.
I'm almost sure it's Chief on bass because I've seen them like warming up and stuff and doing sound checks, and I know that Chief does have a very, very distinctive bass tone.
Well, maybe it's down actually at the bottom.
Could well be.
Yeah. I think this is the other song that has that Egyptian themed solo going on. But for me, this song it's as most of the EP is. It's this is Reese. Like the drumming in this track is just fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
He's something else. And it's not like he's showing off or being taken away from the song. It all works within the song. He's not detracting from anything, but it's just for me his drumming on this track is just it's outstanding.
There's a bit. I was reading one of the reviews of this, and there's a bit with a big "fuck you all" chant, and someone kind of picked at that as a sort of an obvious thing to do. It's like the big "fuck you all" bit that you get in so many songs.
But it's not like it's not like it breaks down and builds up to, or it's part of the song.
I think it works. It works well, especially.
You don't even notice it that much, to be honest.
Especially with how much venom Jason spits it with. And I've always thought, I mean, there is something massively cathartic about swearing. There just is.
Right there is.
So I have no problem. I have no criticism against having that sort of thing in that song at all. I think it's brilliant. I think it works really well.
Somebody should probably give Jason a big hug though. He does seem quite angry and could probably use a couple. Yeah, just saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hugs all around.
Yep.
If we need hugs. Where do you get it now? Who's had a review with offers of hugs?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Only on TWKOM. And again, one of the things I said about the other song was the vocals over the solo. They do it again in this track. And I just love it. It means if you're into solos, you can hone in on the solo. If you're not, you can treat the piece of music as a whole, with the guitars and the vocals and the drums all kind of going on at once. I think that is such a really smart thing to do within a song.
Yeah. Plus, it gives them room then, because people then go, right, these guys do solos, so as they progress, then they can have moments where it is just a solo, and you're not going to be kind of weirded out by it. So.
Okay, last track on the EP then is a track called Prisons. Starts off with a lot of heavy drumming. Would give me the impression, I don't know this for sure, that that Reese, the drummer, would have had a lot of influence on this track. Whenever it does come in, all that drumming kind of goes through. It comes in with the vocals, and then you've got what I would always refer to as a big stompy bit.
Yeah.
It's great. But then it starts to become, the rhythms within the song kind of start to become a wee bit more intricate. Almost, I don't want to say gent, because it's not genty, but it's not 4/4, it's not standard 4/4
oh,
banger
definitely
into
not,
this
yeah.
music. It's a wee bit more intricate at
I don't
that.
think any other stuff's really the standard 4/4. There's a lot of weird time
But it's all got that.
I think
it's
this
got
song is
groove
the
and it's got
most,
stomp and stuff. Whereas
this song I think is the most kind of, I think, jarring for me. It was like the time changes, the weird stuff kind of, it was a bit jarring because they did have that groove that they settled into, but then they would hit into this weird thing, and it kind of unsettles you, which I like when stuff does that to you, because it's not your, but then once you're getting into a groove sort of thing,
I'm sure
jarring is the only really word.
Yeah.
I'm sure any drummer watching this is screaming at the screen called "It's called a."
Yeah.
I think that track I found slightly less memorable than the rest. It hasn't got that big hook that I'm looking for. But that being said, if someone puts out a 5-track EP, I don't expect 5 songs with big 5 hooks and stuff. There's always going to be those songs that are a wee bit more subtle.
See, to me, that could be a grower. That could be the sort of thing. The more you listen to it, and eventually down the line, you're like, actually, that's close to being my favourite song. You know, there's a really cool guitar line, I think, at some point that mimics the vocal. I think maybe the second half of the verse, possibly. And I really like that. And then there's also a big sort of machine head type riff groove going on at one point. So
I think one thing I will say about that track is the positioning of it on the album. I think if you had to slip that to track 4 and put like Burning Nameless to track 5 and finish with a banger and have that more intricate, that more thought out song somewhere in the middle, I think it would have paced the EP out a wee bit better. But I do think that's a wee bit nitpicky. And I mean, we live in the digital age now where if you want to change the order of the songs, you can.
You can, yeah. I think there's an epic solo on this one as well. Again.
I think
there's a couple of really good solos.
Throughout
this.
I think that one does just let the solo breathe.
Yeah.
It hasn't got the vocal layers on top, which is fine because, as I say, they've done it twice already where they've built that solo in with the vocals that I love. It's a good song, but it is definitely not my favourite one on the EP. I think the 3 tracks that come before it are personally a lot better because there's songs that I just want to hear live, those big hooks and whatnot.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's you listen to that whole EP and it just, you know, as a set, you know, it's unrelenting. I think is probably the one phrase you could really, or one word you could really use. They don't let up. You know, there's no sort of, okay, here's a wee quiet moment just to let you breathe. It's like, nope, we're gonna fuck you up from the start.
What do you think of it overall then? Overall take on it? Like it?
Yeah, the intro is a bit the intro is a bit weird.
Yeah.
It's not bad, it's just a bit weird.
It should be a full song.
But like other than that, I can't really complain about it. Like I just think the intro is a little.
Excellent.
I mean, and the very last song on it, the intro to that song is a bit like you said, jarring. Yeah, I can't think of a better term for it. But
I think the intro and the last song starts out, and then they do the weird time thing, and you're like.
Yeah, but it's just how it starts off is a bit strange. But I mean, overall, I can't say anything like really bad about it. It's just those couple of things that are just.
So, 3 quick things that I would say about it is the first thing is I clearly love it. I mean, I think it's great. I will listen to it lots, and I can't wait to hear these songs played live after I get to really know them. So generally speaking, I mean, I haven't been reviewing albums. This is the only second one I've done. But I found myself when it comes to reviewing albums, I'm listening to it in a different way that I would normally listen to an album. Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of putting it under a microscope and sitting, listen to the details that I wouldn't necessarily spot. And when I've done that with other albums, I start to find little things that I kind of go, ooh, I'm not sure about that. With this, there wasn't really anything. I don't think I've found anything that's detracting from it. So to me that's a massive tick in the box.
Yeah.
That's
It
it,
is.
It's a very solid sort of release. I think if they had gone, as we were saying earlier, if they'd maybe gone down the album route and you had an extra 4 or 5 songs there, then would the constant sort of pace, would that maybe have started being an issue? Because with essentially with 4 songs, because you can't really count Deny as a song, really. You don't get into it. There's not enough time. 4 songs, just bam, bam, bam.
Yeah,
that's great.
I think you're
10
right.
songs, 9 or 10 songs of that just solid could maybe be a bit.
I think you're right about that. And one of the comparisons I would make is one of the Code Orange albums. Like, Code Orange is, to me, the most aggressive music I listen to. It's probably some of the most aggressive music I've heard. It is so in your face. But then you get tracks like Bleeding in the Blur, which is, initially when you first listen to it, you go, what's that on there for? But then you realise if you've 10 songs that are just smashing your face in, you do kind of need that one track.
Oh yeah, you need a break.
To kind of fucking sit back and go, right, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I agree with you. I think if they had put a 10-track album out, they would have needed something different in there to break it up.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, I would have liked one more song on this.
If Deny had been a full song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have liked 5 tracks.
Yeah.
It ends too early. I just wanted more from it. And I know that...
Well, that's always a good sign.
Well, maybe that's intentional. Maybe it's, leave them wanting more.
Yeah.
That's always a good strategy. I don't know, I just would have liked
it's better you're saying that than going, oh no, I couldn't listen to the whole thing.
Yeah, and that's it. I was glad it was over.
If I'd been sitting here saying, oh, it was too long and I got bored, that is.
So it's better you're saying you wish it was longer.
Yeah, It is. It's like getting to the end of a meal and going, that was delicious, but I would have liked another sausage. Yeah, could I have another sausage, Oracle? My metaphors are horrible.
Wayne loves another sausage.
Yes, big Oracle sausage.
Then you also say didn't you also say like being vomited on by death metal bands or something?
Grindcore bands.
So
that's another story. Right. Have you any other final thoughts then, Liam?
Not really. Just to say that it's again, it's another in a long line of local releases that pretty much started from, I think, Overoath were, last year. From then on, you've had Overoath, The Crawling, Rabbit Bitch, Ketos, Draconis, Don and Die, all releasing stuff that just is phenomenal. Like, it's at such a level now that anyone following them can't be, they've got to up their game. All these releases from these bands have just shown that we have one of the best heavy scenes in the UK, if not the world. It might sound like hyperbole, but listen to this stuff. It's unbelievably good. We've got the muscle to back it up now.
I think it is such a great position to be in that we can go out almost on a weekly basis and listen to bands of this quality.
Yeah.
And be paying somewhere between £3 and £5 in.
Yeah, £5 on average usually.
Whenever we travel and go places, again, I know we're drifting off topic here, but when we and Claire travel places, we go and try and check out the local scenes, and we've done it in places like Berlin and Paris and Manchester and London and stuff, and I'm yet to find bands that I consider comparable to what we've got. Maybe I'm not going to the right places, maybe they're all there and I'm just not able to find them, but I just think some of the bands we have in Belfast are outstanding, and Oracle are one of those bands that's just come out recently and made me go, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the scary thing about them is, they're fairly young as a band, and you just know that they're going to get better, and people need to shit themselves when they realise that.
Mm-hmm.
Because these guys getting better than what they are should put the fear.
Even they also got through to the semi-finals in Metal to the Masses.
They got through to the finals last time.
They were final last time,
yeah.
Yeah, finals, and no, I'm not even going to say it because I don't want to scud anyone. I'm sure they'll do well this time as well. Okay, scores in the doors. What would you give it, Liam?
I would give it a 7.5 out of 10. I think if Deny had been a full song, then I would possibly have pushed that up to an 8.
Yeah. And yourself?
An 8.
An 8.
Just because the intro, that weird intro-y
Deny.
sort of song thing, that's kind of the main thing. And the last track, it's not a bad track. It's just not that memorable. Although the twangy bass thing that they've got going.
Yeah.
Is probably my favorite thing on that because it's just that's brilliant.
That's in
that
nameless,
is yeah.
I mean, if we now hear that live and that doesn't come through, everyone's going to be hold on.
Yeah.
Can you start again?
You know, that was like the main thing that stuck out, that whole, because that was like the most memorable thing I found of that, just for me. But that's because it's so like, I don't usually hear things like that.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard anything like that.
No.
I'm gonna give it an 8.5. I really do like it, and I was looking forward to this coming out. Yeah, definitely an 8.5. I think it could have pushed in 9 had there been another sausage on there.
Well, you gotta love the sausage.
Yeah. So that works out in average as 8.0. Yep, which puts it on a level with
the Donald Dye album.
Donald Dye's album. So
and this is the thing, like all these bands as well, like, you know, could you imagine a bill with Donald Dye, Oracle, Kitos? You know?
Well, see that next weekend. We've kind of discussed this already, but you've got the gig on the Thursday night, the Friday night, and the Saturday night. I think all those 3 promoters should kind of like bundle up and call it Metal Fest or something. or something.
Sausage
Fest.
Sausage Fest, yeah. Wayne loves a Sausage Fest.
Sausage Fest. So something tells me it's a good point to wrap things up. Again, thanks for watching. We appreciate it every single time. We would love to hear any feedback when the EP is released, and if you think we're wrong about anything, if you think we're right about anything, stick comments in YouTube below or Facebook or whatever. We'd love to hear feedback from people.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. We're doing this, and we want people to let us know what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
what they think.
Thus far, no one's came to us and said, "See that thing you said? You're full of shit."
Yeah.
And I almost kind of want someone to at some stage.
Well, because we really are full of shit, and people haven't noticed this so far. I'm not quite sure.
Maybe it's just a given. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but get involved, stick comments in there, and if you don't mind, if you can click like on the video, click subscribe so that you can get each of the new videos coming straight to you. And I think we'll leave it there. So,
yes,
as always, keep listening to the wrong kind of music.